Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on 3 ways medical device companies working remote are leveraging QMS software to foster innovation and collaboration. My name is John Spear, and I'm the founder, VP of Quality and Regulatory at Greenlight Guru, and I will be the presenter for today's event. Got a really special presentation scheduled for you today. I'm really looking forward to sharing some valuable insights and expertise on the advantages QMS software can provide to medical device company, especially when teams are in remote working situation. But before we dive into today's presentation too deep, I'm going to touch on a few items real quick. First, the webinar today is going to run for about an hour. And as you have questions, jot them down and feel free to contact me with your questions directly via email. And I'll share my email address here in a few moments. I'd also like to share a few words about Greenlight Guru and why we put on these free training sessions. If you've been on one of our training sessions before, then you know we put these on because improving the quality of life is our mission here at Greenlight Guru. And this is likely a mission that's similar to many of you participating on today's webinar. So anything we can do as an organization that helps device makers bring safer, life-changing devices to market quicker and with less risk aligns with that mission. Constantly looking for ways to fulfill that mission, whether that's through hosting these free training sessions and also via our award-winning medical device QMS software really aligns with improving that quality of life. So if you'd like to learn more about why medical device companies from across the globe are moving away from paper-based general purpose quality management systems and adopting the purpose-built medical device quality management system from Greenlight Guru, that I would encourage you to head on over to www.greenlightguru after today's presentation to schedule your free personalized one-on-one demo. In doing so, you'll learn how the very best medical device companies are leveraging the purpose-built medical device quality management software to gain ISO 13485 certification, market clearance and approvals, breeze through audits, and push beyond just compliance to produce true quality medical devices. So again, if you're interested in learning how we can help your medical device company, make sure you visit www.greenlight.guru after today's webinar and schedule your personalized demo. So let me get on to today's presentation. Let me share my screen and dive into the presentation today. So again, we're going to talk about the 3 ways medical device companies are working remote, are leveraging QMS software to foster innovation and collaboration. And I've been in the medical, I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I've been in the medical device industry now for over 22 years, and I've had the pleasure and opportunity to do a lot of really exciting things, from designing and developing new medical devices, to implementing quality systems, to preparing regulatory strategies and submissions. I've done this many, many times before, and as the founder of Greenlight Guru, I'm excited to share with you some tips and pointers on how you can leverage QMS software to help you and your teams in remote situations, but also on a normal everyday business as well. As I mentioned, if you have questions throughout today, you can contact me directly. There's my email, john.spear@greenlight.guru, and the phone number if you have a question. So topics we're going to cover today, we're going to dive a little bit into product development and QMS challenges that frankly have been a little bit intensified by recent COVID-19 situations. And I'm sure many of you, as you're listening to this, you might be in a remote work or work from home type of setting. So we're going to talk a little bit about the advantages. We're going to talk about leveraging a single source of truth from a design control and risk management perspectives, and how these sorts of activities and this closed loop traceability from a design and development standpoint, or from a total product lifecycle perspective, actually can drive collaboration for remote teams. We're going to talk a little bit about a connected quality system, being able to demonstrate that total closed loop traceability from all aspects of your business, and so that you can always be ready for an audit at any point in time. We're going to talk about streamlining quality and document control processes across internal teams and stakeholders. So let's dive in. So managing product development and quality activities, for if you've been in the medical device industry, you know it's a real challenge, and a lot of companies have very disparate tools and solutions that they try to implement to try to connect the ecosystem. Uh, if you're in that situation, you're probably feeling a little bit of that strain right now that these remote working environments um, is exposing, quite frankly. So we've got to have tools and solutions that are better connected, that are purpose built for these types of scenarios. And fortunately, this is one of the things that we've done at Greenlight Guru. We've built a solution to help. Uh, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, all of your quality management system data and information, all your design and development activities, all your design reviews, your risk management information, all of your quality events is all in a single source of truth. It's kind of interesting if you look at some of the statistics. And so Greenlight did this state of medical device survey a while back, and we got some really interesting insights, and I'll share some of those with you all today. But interestingly, FDA has identified uh, about 50% of device surveillance inspections require some sort of action because of some sort of quality system issue or failure. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but it is interesting that even today in 2020, over half of medical device companies are still reliant on some sort of paper based type of approach. Now, I know some of you listening may be saying, we don't have paper, we have, a folder tree on our server and everything's digital. What a lot of folks have done, that are still in this kind of this paper based category, if you will, is more or less replicated paper in some sort of file tree structure. Still a lot of reliance on printing and signing and putting things in the right folder, which creates some challenges as well. So from an ecosystem standpoint, some of the things that are really important to look at are the tools and technology that are being used in different areas of your medical device business. So if we look at like design controls and risk management, still over half of the folks who responded to the survey, they are still using some sort of legacy tool. I think the most common thing that I hear in that case from a design control and risk perspective is a lot of use of spreadsheets and word processing. And usually there's a collection of these different separate files that are contained within some sort of folder of some sort. About 22% starting to use more specialized tools, and about the good news is that we're seeing an increase in medical device companies shifting towards best-in-class tools, but we still have a lot of opportunity there as well. Similar sort of breakdown from a quality management system processes perspective. Again, well over half are using legacy tools, and just about 1 in 5 are using best-in-class tools. So I think it's really a really important question that you all are probably trying to figure out, especially if you're in product development right now with your medical device technologies, is what percentage of product development teams are considering themselves to be highly efficient through the process of bringing a device to market? Well, interestingly, and this statistic is before any sort of remote work scenario because of global issues, only 7% of product development teams consider themselves to be highly efficient. And I would be curious to see if that number is what it is today. My suspicion is that it's probably much less than 7% now that we're all spread and scattered and not co-located in the same location. So um, I think if you think about this a little bit further, that being inefficient means we're losing a lot of hours in our design and development, losing a lot of hours dealing with inefficiencies, maybe trying to manage general purpose tools to accomplish some critical design, control, and risk management activities. There's a lot of time that we're losing and updating, spreadsheets and things of that nature. And if you add all that time up, it's real. It means that your product is going to be delayed to market, chances are. So what if you could get some of that time back? I think that's really a key opportunity that we should all be thinking about in the medical device industry. There are kind of three major pains if you think about design controls in general. Those three pains are you're collecting all this documentation, all these records, this information through the course of the design and development, and you got to manage all of this information about the design and development of your product, because eventually this is information that you're going to use to support your case when it comes time to get regulatory clearances and approvals. That's a big challenge. Another one is that this concept of traceability, design control traceability is so key, because from the very beginning you're trying to solve some sort of clinical issue or problem. From there, you start to define things like user needs, and then expand upon that and design input requirements, and then you have outputs, and then you're going to do verification and validation. Well, you need these things to be linked and traceable, and you need to have this closed loop traceability from a design control perspective, so that you know what you've been doing, how things are related, what the flow of information is. Very important to do. And again, the standard approach to this is a spreadsheet of some way, shape, or form. And having been that guy that's managed that spreadsheet, I can tell you I was spending hundreds of hours on a few-year project just doing nothing but updating a spreadsheet. And it wasn't a purpose-built solution. This is one of the reasons why we started Greenlight Guru, is to be a solution to help product developers still get that traceability, but make it so much easier to manage and maintain on an ongoing basis. The third pain, if you will, from a design control perspective, is managing that design history file. Because it is a collection of documents. It is a collection of stuff that happens over time. And a lot of times, what I see in practice is that a lot of folks don't focus on keeping that design history file current and up to date throughout the entire design and development process. Some challenges from a risk perspective, similar in many respects, but you can see there's a few things here that you need to have enough information during the design and development process to be able to properly assess product risk. And I think that part of the challenge with risk in general in med device is that historically we're not using this as a tool to inform and aid us during our design and development. I think in general we're looking at risk management tools as more of a checkbox activity, something we have to do, not necessarily something that aids and informs us and ensures that our products are as risk averse as possible. But having ownership of risk management throughout the entire product lifecycle is a big challenge for folks. I see product development teams, they do an okay job, generally speaking, of taking ownership of risk management during the design and development process. Now, albeit, I think we still have some opportunity to treat risk more as a tool to help us rather than a checkbox. I think we have work to do there. But what happens once the product goes into the marketplace? Who owns the risk management file from there on out throughout the rest of the total product lifecycle? Usually, what I see, unfortunately, is that risk management file and that information gets buried into a file cabinet, either a real physical file cabinet or a folder on a server somewhere, and there's not clear ownership of managing risk throughout the life cycle. And I think this, the next couple points kind of feed into that. And what happens when we go to market and we get quality events? I mean, it's going to happen. There's going to be feedback that we're going to get from customers. Sometimes we might hear about complaints. From a manufacturing standpoint, we may have some non-conformances. We may have CAPAs and these sorts of things, but all of those post-market quality events should be feeding inputs back into the risk management efforts to make sure that we're constantly evolving our risk management files for our products to represent current state and current situation. And then just visibility and traceability of risk. I mean, this is we need to be focused on risk-based approaches, not only during design and development, but across our entire company, frankly. And it's really important that this becomes a first-class citizen, if you will, as part of our product development and our total product lifecycle documentation and records. So that lack of visibility creates some challenges as well. So diving into that a little bit, data access and reliability. So a couple of other bits of feedback that we got from the survey that we did. Is the data collected from your company's quality system considered easily accessible in real time. And what I find somewhat interesting about this is, there's about 1 in 4, maybe a little bit over 1 in 4 of respondents said, yeah, it's pretty easily accessible in real time. The large majority of respondents said somewhat, and I think that's one thing that we need to remember, and many of you listening probably know this firsthand because you've been through it, is we will be audited, we will be inspected, and not just for this shouldn't just be a response to being audit ready and things of that nature, but the information in our quality systems is important. It's how we run and our business. And so if we are making decisions about information based on a partial view of the world within our companies, then that could be potentially problematic. And then I think that gets to this next question: how reliable is the data being generated in the quality system? Again, a large percentage of folks said somewhat. So if the information, the data is not considered to be consistently reliable, then what kind of decisions are we making, and what impact do those decisions have based on somewhat reliable details? So, like I said, I don't want to just suggest that we only do this for audit purposes. I think there's a lot of valuable insights that we can gain within our companies to run more focus on quality across our entire organization rather than just being compliance minded. But there is a compliance component. Let's be real, we are medical device companies and we are saving lives. We're improving lives through our products and technologies. So it's important that we have the documentation to corroborate those sorts of things. And of course, if you think about it from a regulatory agency perspective, their primary objective is to ensure and protect the health of citizens who are receiving your products. And so, the audit is an important thing to be prepared for. And 1 in 4 of respondents were very confident in demonstrating traceability if an unannounced audit were to take place. And that's not, folks, that's not good enough. We have opportunity for improvement. And the reason I think this unannounced frame is key to consider is we shouldn't be doing something differently just because we know an audit's going to happen next week or next month. This should be standard business, standard operating business. We shouldn't change our behaviors because of one situation or another. So let's try to, as an industry, see if we can get this to much higher than 25% being very confident. Let's see if we can get this to 75 or 80% being very confident. I think that's really important. Like I said, it just doesn't have to be this way. And this is part of the reason why, we started Greenlight Guru back in 2013, is there's a better way. And for product development teams tired of managing a pile of documents, thought I'd share a couple things from some of our customers. Photonicare is a fantastic company. They've been in the trenches, so to speak, designing and developing their first products, and they're at a point where they've received 510(k) clearance, and they're in a go-to-market transition right now. Really great company, really great product. Where this is going to, I think, change some pediatric practices in a good way because of their technology. But Photonicare, they were looking for a purpose-built QMS solution that would increase their efficiency and have controls in place. And so we've collaborated and partnered with them, and they've been able to get through some major milestones and challenges in their quest to bring new products to market. So really great company. Another an example I'll share with you is Centis. Centis is also an earlier stage company, but they have been able to, by implementing Greenlight Guru's medical device QMS solutions, the effort to get 1345 certification, receive 510(k) clearance, and other key success milestones for their medical device company have made things so much better, more efficient for them as an organization. Part of the way that's done within the Greenlight workflows is about traceability. If you recall, a few slides ago, I talked about traceability and managing that pile of documents from a design and development standpoint, as well as maintaining a DHF. Those are three big challenges, and the Greenlight design and development workflows are intentionally built. They're it's med device specific, and all of those things are mitigated, or the efficiency around it that you can gain is significant because it's all within the workflow. You're able to very easily build traceability. Your design history file is always live, it's always on demand, it's always organized, it's always there within the workflow. So no need to spend weeks of time trying to compile and organize your DHF. It's all there in this workflow within Greenlight. Same thing with risk. I mean, some of the biggest challenges is maintaining this risk artifact, if you will, risk assessment, the initial risk, and then taking some risk controls and mitigations, and then managing the residual risk. The teams that are using the Greenlight workflow for risk management uh, have commented a few things. They love that this is always current with respect to the latest, greatest expectations from a regulatory perspective. So, as we're talking today, the risk workflow aligns with ISO 14971 2019. So our fingers on the pulse of keeping that up to date. But these are the information is presented in a way that is routinely expected with when you work with regulatory bodies, and it's a click away. It's all right there at your fingertips, and it ties back into your design control practices during the design and development process. So when you're doing design reviews, you're able to look at the total picture, and you're able to use risk to help inform and guide you what's important from a design and development standpoint. Plus, because both the design history file and the risk management information is contained in the Greenlight workflows, can be living, both of these things can be living throughout the total product lifecycle. The days of burying it in a folder and archiving it once you accomplish design transfer, those days are gone when you're using these workflows. So now folks who are going to be involved in managing those products once you go to market will be able to go into the risk assessment as you learn information or as quality events come in and determine if there's additional actions that need to be done from a product design perspective, or additional testing, or what other types of controls may be necessary. And as I mentioned, just being able to, within the Greenlight workflow, to conduct design reviews over as granular, as specific information as you want, all the way to the entire project, to multiple phases of information, really is tailored to how you're doing design and development. Whether that's a phase-based approach or an agile approach, doesn't matter. The Greenlight workflow is very flexible to accommodate how you and your product development teams are getting information done or getting things done during the design and development process. And we built this digital design review functionality to accommodate your situations. And design reviews can be done from anywhere. So the teams can log in, they can collaborate, they can sign off electronically with those design reviews, and those design reviews automatically become artifacts within the design history file. Shifting gears a little bit, quality leaders looking to easily demonstrate closed loop traceability. So closed loop traceability is basically, we talk about design control, traceability, shared some of the tidbits in the Greenlight Guru system a few moments ago. But think about it from a bigger picture perspective, and I know there's lots of acronyms and sometimes topics that come up. The one that I really think is important is total product lifecycle, TPLC. And the gist or the idea behind total product lifecycle is managing everything about that product from the old adage, cradle to grave. So having connective information in a single source of truth is very important to achieve and demonstrate that closed loop traceability. So a lot of other solutions that are out there, frankly, they're very siloed, they're disconnected, it makes this really challenging. And I think we saw that when we saw that the respondents from some of our surveys said that the data is somewhat reliable. They don't have a set of data and information about their products and processes and their company that is a source of truth that they can trust. So a few more tidbits from from some folks regarding their use and implementation of Greenlight Guru. This is a company C2DX. So these are very experienced, a team of very experienced medical device professionals that started C2DX. And what they've been able to achieve with Greenlight is closed loop traceability. They implemented the MDQMS solution right from the start of their company because they've had the experience to know that having a purpose-built solution is key to their success. I mean, they embrace the notion of true quality. This is a key part of their culture. And what C2DX has been able to accomplish is to streamline their processes and achieve MDSAP and ISO certification. And all along that the process with going through that, the auditors were thrilled about having a paperless audit. I know it's crazy to think about if you've ever been through one of these events before, that you can actually achieve some key milestones like MDSAP and ISO 1345 certification and do so paperless. Another comment from company Lucerno Dynamics. They have been able to they're they implemented Greenlight, and so they're also were on the quest of gaining ISO 1345 certification, and they did a very thorough analysis of all the different options that they could select in order to achieve this key milestone for their company, and they chose to implement Greenlight. And by doing so, they were able to really streamline their quality processes and document controls, especially for the review and approval process. It's all done electronically within the Greenland system. And again, they also had their first ever paperless audit to achieve 1345 certification. And these last two examples, C2DX and Lucerno Dynamics, these are folks that have been in the medical device industry for a long time. They've used a lot of the different options that are out there, and they're finding great success with the MDQMS solution that Greenlight brings. Talked a lot about quality events and those things being important to that total product lifecycle, but also a key component of closed loop traceability. So within Greenlight, within those workflows, you're able to manage all of your risk-based quality processes in a connected ecosystem. And this is really, we hear great feedback about this because, think about maybe your current situation where, and maybe the tools that you're using, and how are you going to tell that story? How are you going to connect all of this information once you go through the design and development process and then the post-market? And the reason this is important to think about is the resources within your company who are managing the design and development activities are likely different resources from who will manage that product in a post-market situation. It's what we found is that companies don't have a single source of truth, an intentional built uh, medical device quality management system to connect the ecosystem. So from a Greenlight perspective, our pre-market functionality around design control and risk is within our Go platform, and then the quality events are managed in the growth side of things. And so this, when you get this quality event, when you launch this product and you get a piece of customer feedback, or maybe there was a manufacturing nonconformance, you can actually link that activity, that event, back to the design and development, and you can actually interrogate your design history file, your risk management documentation as part of this quality event investigation process. So I think that's really key to keep in mind. Additionally, our document management and change management, it's foundational. It's the foundation of any medical device company for sure. So within Greenlight, the workflows around managing documents and records and changes and review and approval is foundational to how the entire platform works, all with keeping Part 11 compliance in mind. I mean, we validate 100% of the Greenlight Guru software before it gets into any customer or user's hands, and we provide a full validation package. So the advantage of a Greenlight medical device QMS solution, implementing that, is a near zero validation from our customers, because we are cloud-based, and everything that we do from a testing perspective is production equivalent software. And so we're able to provide that proof and evidence that time and time again has zero issues during an audit situation. In fact, it's been commented from many ISO auditors and FDA inspections that this makes logical sense and it's completely valid approach when it comes to use of software for managing quality management system initiatives. So modern closed loop quality system. This is a intentional effort to give you and your team full traceability between design and development, risk, documents, records, as well as all of those quality events, and do so in a way that keeps everything connected together. So you can link in tie all of these different data elements within your quality management system together, which is really, really important whenever change happens, because change is certainly something that is a constant. We know there will be a change to something that we're doing, whether we update a design feature or we have to update the way we're manufacturing it, or maybe we need to revise one of our procedures, whatever the case may be, there will be changes. And think about what happens in your company today. When you make a change, how do you know what's impacted by that change? Yeah, my guess is it's quite the effort to dig into all the different sources of data and information to try to make sure that the change that you're making is that you've addressed everything that is possible or potentially impacted by that. Well, within Greenlight, that goes down dramatically because it's all in a connected ecosystem. So what about those that use modern best-in-class systems? What specific benefits are associated with purpose-driven solutions when compared to those companies who might be using some legacy tools? What are some key things to think about? Um, what we found is that companies that embrace best-in-class systems are 3 times more likely to consider themselves highly efficient when it comes to bringing a new medical device to market. They are 2 times more likely to say that they're very confident about demonstrating total lifecycle traceability, especially in preparation for audit scenarios. And they're significantly more likely to be ready for EU MDR. Now, I know there's a little bit of ambiguity with respect to EU MDR in these times that we're in right now, but nonetheless, we know EU MDR is coming. We know that regulatory changes, that tsunami of regulatory changes there will be something else, something else, something else that will always keep following. So it's important that we implement purpose-built solutions so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. And like I said, this is part of what we do at Greenlight Guru. This is my number one role and commitment to our customers, is to make sure that the Greenlight Guru software solution, the MDQMS solution, is always up to speed and current with the current regulatory criteria and requirements. So you have confidence with Greenlight Guru's MDQMS that we're going to keep you ahead of the curve with respect to changing regulatory information. The MDQMS platform from Greenlight has these built-in controls that align with FDA's Part 820 as well as 1345 as well as EU MDR. Flexible review and approval workflows. So, everything's done via electronic signature. You can do parallel routing, you can do sequential routing, you can do any combination of those things. But all of that review and approval happens within the workflows within Greenlight. 14971, being risk-based, that's all intentionally built into the workflows within Greenlight. And then this whole IDF connecting or linking anything throughout any design, risk, quality event, document, all of that is tied together through link anything functionality and near zero effort system validation because of the work that we do to prepare you and the information that we provide you in our validation package. And the whole idea behind this is it's removes or certainly reduces a lot of the minutia, a lot of the busy work, if you will, so that you and your teams can be more collaborative with one another. with getting things done. Let's get you focused back on what's important. Let's get you focused on making sure that your products are safe and effective. And let's see if we can shave some time and inefficiency out of your approach so that those patients who can benefit from your products and technologies can get those products sooner. So Greenlight Guru is the only medical device QMS solution provider to be named a category leader by G2 Crowd for over 5 quarters in a row. So you can go to G2 Crowd, you can search for Greenlight Guru, and you can see what customers have commented and what they've shared about Greenlight Guru. And I encourage you to do your homework on this because we've been the category leader for over 5 quarters. So I just threw a lot of information at you. Hopefully it's thought provoking. Hopefully it's something that you're interested in learning more about. And again, if you have questions and comments for me, I do encourage you to contact me directly. Again, my email is john.spear@greenlight.guru. You can see that on the screen. So thank you all for taking time out of your schedules to participate in this session.